Hi guys, my name is Ekansh Debuka. I'm one of the registrars working in trauma and orthopedics in the northwest of England. Um, I passed my initial years of training in medicine from India, and I've been working here in the UK for the past 2 to 3 years.
Hi guys, my name is Aditya, and I have a similar background as Ekansh. I've studied my MBBS back in India, and I've been working as the north. I'm working in the northeast as a registrar in trauma and orthopedics as well. And I've been in the UK for the last couple of years as well. Today, we're here and we're doing this video in collaboration with TrewLink, which TrewLink is essentially is a new platform and is now your first home away from home from the new IMGs. It's a peer-to-peer support platform where you can find out more about the NHS and the career pathways, your eligibility. You can review NHS hospitals, and most importantly, you can actually connect with more and more UK-based international medical graduates like ourselves that will give you trusted service and information with regards to the UK and how to succeed in your career. You can get
Absolutely.
access to TrueLink by registering at www.truelink.com.
Absolutely. So today's video is about how we both passed our MRCS. We'll cut the chase. We'll get straight to the point. We won't be talking much about how the exam's actually structured. There is enough information out there on the internet, but we're going to try and concentrate on the tips and tricks that actually helped us pass the exam itself.
Yes, for most people, actually, just to give you a heads up, I think Ekansh and I prepared for the exam together. We sat the same exam and we actually cleared the exam as well.
So we'll take it up in two parts. We'll talk about the part A and part B separately. The part A is the one which is based on the MCQs, and the part B which is more a viva or a examination based part. Coming to part A, it consists of only questions. Um, the basic necessity or the basic requirement that you need to do the MRCS is just your primary medical qualification, which is the MBBS, whichever country you do it from.
Yes, I think that's a very important point, and the most important point that I would like to remind, if I could go back in time and tell myself, is that once I'm in my MBBS and if I'm planning a career in the UK, if I don't want to sit the PLAB, MRCS is a viable option, even when I'm doing my internship back in India.
So you can start early. You don't have to wait for actually getting into years and years of clinical training to actually sit your MRCS. Get on with it and get going. We're going to be very clear about how we divide it. We're suggesting two ways. One is prospective studying, and the other is retrospective studying. Prospective studying is possibly more sensible for people who are in the early years of their training or their reading, people who are not very familiar with the subjects of anatomy, physiology, and pathology. Whereas for people who've probably read these subjects at some point in their lives and have possibly not been in touch with it and need to go back and revise it, a retrospective approach might work a lot better, which is what worked for me and Aditya. Aditya, you want to talk about the approaches?
Well, absolutely. For me, it was more of the retrospective approach that worked as well, because we've studied all those subjects in our MBBS. And it's uncanny and surprising that so many of the questions are actually your final year MBBS general surgery syllabus. And a lot of it is your ENT from your third professional. If you've studied that, then all you need to do is go back, revise those subjects, do more and more questions. And that's what the retrospective approach is about.
Yeah, absolutely. So the whole trick is do as many questions as you can. Once you do the questions, you start noticing where you're making mistakes, which aspects you're struggling with, and go back, touch up on those rather than wasting a lot of time in trying to read the whole subjects in full. Because these exams, the questions are geared towards a particular, they're testing a certain knowledge base, and that's all you need. Be smart, optimize your time, and you don't have to read everything. Now, getting to the part B, this is the one which is based on the actual Viva or the examination sections.
Yes, so the part B is actually for, I would say, for international graduates like us, is the more difficult and more challenging part because this involves a clinical scenario where you're supposed to do a task or interact with a patient, which which might be an actual patient or it actually might be an actor or an actress who's been there and testing your metal, in a grilling situation. Uh, the most important thing I would say for part B when you go into the exam is to remember that you've got a time for each and every section, and therefore it's important that you have practiced each and every examination and every scenario before coming into the exam within a limit of 6 minutes.
Absolutely. And one of the best things you can do for this is get yourself a study partner. It really makes a huge difference. Language and communication, especially in the English language, becomes very important. And if English is not your first language, which is the case for many IMGs, then it really you really need to go back and make sure that you learn to verbalize, become fluent, be very clear in how you are able to express your knowledge in that limited time frame in a clear manner to get the maximum number of points available.
Yes, I think it's very, very important to be clear, concise, and to the point in your examinations. And you don't want to be, uh, waving around with your words. Other than
And
that,
I think the one more thing that really helps is make sure that you have a look at the marking sheets which are available on the Royal College of Surgeons website, which actually give you an idea of what really counts, and you'll actually realize that you're the way you introduce yourself, hand washing at the right time, the basic etiquettes and patient ensuring patient safety actually have as much of a value as your knowledge about the subject.
I think that's the most important resource that is actually available to you online as well. What RCS has done is they've given a copy of the examination criteria and all the tick marks that you need to do for your examination, which the examiner will be looking at. So each section is divided into steps like hand washing, introducing yourself, ensuring the identity of the patient, and then uh, you would be surprised how little doing the actual tasks carry in your the entire station. So it's very, very important that you get that right, get the basics right. And to do that, the key is practice, practice, and practice.
Absolutely. So these are the things that really work for us, guys. Just as a quick recap, what worked for us and what really made the difference. This video is made in collaboration with TrewLink. We have our own YouTube channel called The Doctors in the UK. The part A, you need your MBBS, two approaches, prospective and retrospective. For people who've done their MBBS, fairly familiar with their basic subjects, do your questions first, do your reading later. Questions, questions, questions. Do as many MCQs as you can.
Yeah, and another thing for Part A I must mention is that there's a lot of resources available online, like the EMRCS and the PASS test, and they've got loads of questions, and essentially the same pattern of questions are repeated every year. So the more questions you do, the more chances you'll score better. Now, coming to the Part B, I think like we've highlighted, the most important things is you need to practice with the study partner. You need to make sure that you're verbalizing fluently and you're clear in what you want to say. You need to practice, ensure that you're finishing your stations on time. Another important thing in your communication and history stations is that you need to have a structured approach at the back of your mind, which you will get through if you practice more and more. But once you have a particular structure at the back of your mind to approach every history and communication station, more or less the basics will remain the same, and you can alter, your questions here and there a bit more depending on what the scenario is. And the marking sheets, as we've mentioned, is your most important resource. If you know what the examiner is looking at, I'm sure you're going to do your best to show the examiner that you're doing the same things. And the best way to do that is practice, practice, practice with your study partner.
So that's it for us for the MRCS. I'm sure you guys everyone will do well, and hope this helps. Thank you.